a challenge surrounding for loops in Python, and the objective is basically to generate a random password based on what the user inputs. So the user is going to input how many letters they want, how many symbols they want, and how many numbers they want. So the first thing to do is to create an empty list that we're going to hold our letters, symbols, and numbers in once we append them, once we loop through and append them. So the first loop is for x in range, and the range is going to be the number of letters, or the first one is the number of letters that the user inputs, so nr letters. And each time that it iterates through, it's going to randomly select a letter from the letters list. So in that case, we can assign a variable L to random dot choice letters, and then each time it iterates through, it'll select a random letter from the list, and it's going to append each time to the password list. So if we wanted to test that out to see if it actually did that, print password. Let's run the code. As you can see, obviously we only have the input for letters right now, so it's only going to append letters to the list. So for symbols and numbers, it's really kind of a similar process. You can copy and paste these, bring this over here. And then it's really just a matter of switching up the variables, but it's going to do the same thing except for the respective lists for symbols and numbers. So we can assign a variable s, and each time it runs for the range of nr symbols, that many times it's going to randomly select a symbol from the symbols list. So symbols, and then it's going to append each time to the passwords list. And then the last thing is numbers. So change this to nr numbers, iterates this range of times, selects that many times a random number from the numbers list up here, and we can assign a variable n to that, and we're going to append each of those to the password list, the empty password list. So if we print password to test it out, user is prompted. As you can see, it is a list of 5 letters, 2 symbols, one symbol and 2 numbers. So the next thing to do is actually to randomize this list, or shuffle it rather. So what you can do is password.shuffle, and then pass in, or rather random.shuffle. Documentation is here, random.shuffle, pass in the list, which is password. We can test out to see that it is actually shuffled. As you can see, it's the same list up here as it is down here, it's just shuffled. Now the last thing to do is actually to join these. So the thing you can do is, the syntax for that is this, x and then or dot join, and then pass in the list that you want. So join my tuple, we don't need that. We're going to separate that on space, and dot join, and then we can call this variable new password. Dot join password, and then print new password. And then if we run the code one more time, as you can see, it's created it's joined these. This is the original list that we appended to. We shuffled it, and then we joined it. That's the new password. And you can concatenate your string to see, to work how you want it to. Otherwise, that is how you do it. Thanks.